Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is HubSpot Admin Essentials. I'm Kyle Jepson. How many of you are fairly new to HubSpot? You're here hoping to get your feet under you. There are lights in my face. Can you make some noise? That's great. This is a good place for you. Be warned, we got to go fast. We only got 45 minutes, and I got a lot to cover. The good news is we're being recorded. This is going to be on YouTube in about a month. And so you can watch it again slower. If you need that, you can share it with your friends. You can share it with your mom, whatever you want to do. Let's get started here. I'm Kyle Jepson. This is most of the rest of me. My wife and I had our 5th kid recently. He's 2 months old. I'm missing him very much right now. But thank you. It is good to be here among friends, even if I am far from home. We are going to talk about all the different aspects of HubSpot. I'm limiting myself to just a couple of bullet points in each of these areas. We will go fast. If you want to know more, I love teaching this stuff. I'm happy to connect with you. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Just be patient because I'm taking a couple months off to hang out with my baby. Before we hop into this, though, holy cow, was anybody in that keynote just now? This is my 11th inbound. I think HubSpot is launching more stuff this week by double than we have in the past. Karen hardly began to scratch the surface. So I've got a couple slides for you here of what I think you should care most about. This one is about features. The next one is about pricing and packaging. First of all, Operations Hub is now Data Hub. I'm going to touch on that on a little bit here today. Tomorrow I'm doing an advanced topic session where I'll go into it in more depth. That one is also being recorded, so if you can't get in, you got something else going on, just watch for YouTube. We're going to have these recorded. I'm so excited. Breeze Studio is now a thing. There's a marketplace where you can get agents and you can build custom assistants. Copilot is a term we're not using anymore. You were all confused. You didn't know if it was Microsoft or what. It's now Breeze Assistant, and you can build custom ones. That is another thing I will cover in more depth tomorrow. Commerce Hub now has a CPQ. This is very exciting. And Marketing Hub has gone completely bonkers. Campaigns is now housed in Marketing Studio. Lists are now segments. There's a bunch of AI stuff happening. Cover some of that today, some of that tomorrow. In the pricing and packaging category, I think this is mostly good news. Karen just skipped like a stone over the rock on this. Data enrichment is now included in your subscription. Enriching contacts and companies no longer consumes credits. Do it to your heart's content as often as you want, all your data. Doesn't matter if you're starter, pro, or enterprise. If you have a paid subscription with HubSpot, you can now enrich data. Data quality dashboard, which is a thing that has historically lived in Operations Hub, now Data Hub, is moving out. If you have any starter, professional, or enterprise subscription, you will have access to that. We will look at it in today's session. HubSpot credits, this wasn't talked about at all, are tools that do consume credits. You admins have a lot more tools now. It used to be if you went over, we automatically upgraded you. Surprise, everybody hated that. You can now do a pay-as-you-go model. You as an admin can also set a credit limit. And when you hit it, all tools using credits will be paused. You have this control now. You should explore it. It's very exciting. CPQ is now in Commerce Hub. We are introducing seats in Commerce Hub. There's going to be a professional seat. There's going to be an enterprise seat. There is still the legacy quoting tool, the lightweight quoting tool we've always had in Sales Hub. I don't expect it to hang around. I don't know the plan. For now, both will exist. But I would expect if CPQ is an important part of your process, you should probably be investigating Commerce Hub. And standalone CRM. Karen said it. I think nobody knew what it meant. Historically, features like workflows and the custom report builder that live at the professional level, or things like custom objects and sandboxes that live at the enterprise level, you had to buy a professional or enterprise Sales Hub seat or Marketing Hub subscription. Now, if those are the features you want, there is a standalone CRM pricing for professional and for enterprise. You can buy those. It's like half the cost of Sales Hub. It's a fraction of the cost of Marketing Hub. I'm hoping this will enable a lot more admins to do workflow and reporting and custom object sorts of things. So that's the keynote I would have given. Now let's go to why you're actually here. Let's begin with our hubs, and we're going to jump right into the CRM. So kind of the few core things I want to talk to all of you about is the data model, your index pages, and your record pages. So let's see if the swipe works. Swipe works. The IT team here is incredible. They are really helping me out. If we want to go to the data management section and go to data model, we call this the data model overview. If you have an enterprise subscription and you have custom objects and things, this is a really great way. It's pretty visual. You can click on any object. You can see how it's connected to stuff. You can dig into the details. You can see things about usage and properties and that sort of thing. This is fine for when you need it. The thing that I think is most important to you as admins are these two little tabs tucked away up here. Limits will show you if you are approaching any limits in your HubSpot capacity. You can do that for associations and objects and all these different things. You can click into these. You can see little bar charts. This is a good thing for you to check in on maybe quarterly, maybe a couple times a year. Hopefully you're not surprised if one of these green bars suddenly shoots up. That's not a thing that should happen. But in general, you should just be aware of what you can do. This analysis tab is the really fun one, though. I would encourage you to be checking this maybe weekly, maybe monthly, kind of depends on what you're doing with data. But this gives you a retroactive view of things that are happening in a whole bunch of different areas. I'm looking at contacts right now. And if you see a spike like this, you as an admin should probably dig into that. You should generally expect this line to be pretty steady. What happened here was I ran a workflow that enrolled every single one of my contacts so I could have a spike on this report to show you today. In general, you don't want to see spikes like this. And if you do, you want to dig back into it. Actually, when we invented this a couple years ago, it was originally in Operations Hub. HubSpot started using it itself, and like 3 months in the past, we realized one of our integrations had gone completely bonkers and dumped a bunch of data into our CRM. We didn't know. We wouldn't have detected it if we hadn't been looking at this. So it's a great place to look, and if you see a spike, see if an import or an integration or workflow went awry. It's just a good way for you to keep track of things, and this is no longer just in Operations Hub, now Data Hub. It's available to all of you. So I would encourage you to check your limits and your analysis regularly. The overview, again, just kind of a visual layout of your data. We recently built this edit your data model. You can build associations and things here. It's fun. We just don't have time today. So let's hop into the CRM. I'm going to go to contacts. It doesn't matter that we're looking at contacts. Contacts, companies, deals, tickets, custom objects, whatever. All of them are going to have an index page that looks like this. It lists all of the things. We've been doing a lot of work on this page recently, and I want to call out some old things, some new things. So at a most fundamental level, you see a list of records here. You can filter these in real time according to whatever properties and things you want to use. You can adjust these columns. There are these lovely little 3-dot menus, so you can do sorting. You can add and remove columns. You can do all kinds of things. And then you can save them, and that's what these tabs up here are. You can create save view and have them in tabs. You can do this for different team members. You can do this for yourself. It's lovely. Something that's fun and new, and Karen showed a little bit, is we're adding a whole bunch of new views. So board view is a thing that has existed as long as our HubSpot CRM has existed for like tickets and deals, but we now have it for contacts and companies and other objects too. By default, this is the life cycle stages of a contact. But there's this lovely little gear button. And look, if you don't want it to be lifecycle stage, you can choose a different thing, right? So like, what if you wanted to just visually see how things are divvied up between owners and be able to drag and drop them? You could do that. Any enumeration property you want, you can sort that out here. There is also this lovely report view. So rather than filtering your index page and getting all nice, and then going over to a report builder and starting from scratch on that whole process again, if you have a table you've built that you like, you can just do a review on a report on top of it. And again, you can customize this. You can choose your visualization. You can choose your different properties. You can choose how it's grouped and stuff. And then you can just have it here as one of your views in a tab. I think that's super cool. And then the other one I have here is calendar view. And again, you can choose which date property you want. Create date is sort of boring right now because I didn't create anything this week. But you could do like close dates or a custom date property, and you could visually see next activity date or next meeting booked or whatever it is when these things are coming up. See it visually laid out. So all of these things are either live or in public beta. Betas you can access up here. Just go to product updates and opt yourself in. Karen also sort of teased that companies have a map view. I don't have access to that yet, so I assume you don't either. But it's coming. And that one will just be listed here. If you're on the company's page, you'll have a little button for it. You'll see a map. You'll see like little pins where your companies are. It's very nice. So that is index views. Or index pages. Let's hop into a record page. So this is a contact. This contact happens to be my wife. Over here on the left, you see information about, because contacts are people, a person. If it was a company, it'd be information about the organization. You have some properties collected here. You have some actions you can take. You as an admin, and actually end users too, can customize this. In the middle, you have some tabs. By default, you're going to have this activity timeline where you can see a chronological list of things. You can pin the really important stuff to the top. And then on the right-hand side, you have sort of associated related data. The company where this person works, if they're associated to a company. Any deals. A lot of time, integrations, apps will put information here. You as an admin can customize this page to your heart's delight by just clicking this Customize button. And there are a lot of cool things you should know about. First of all, depending on your subscription, you can create multiple views. These are custom to the user, right? If a user is on a sales team, they're going to see the sales view that you create. If they're on the support team, they're going to see the support view you create. Or you can just have one default view for everyone like I do. Regardless of whether this is a view for a team or a general view, it'll look like this. Same familiar 3-column layout. It looks very much the same. Over here, you can adjust what cards are in here. You can edit what information is on the cards. You can push this plus button to add more cards. Here in the middle, you can add more tabs. This used to be an enterprise feature. Now it's an enterprise. Now it's an everyone feature. So you can have up to 10 tabs, which is a lot of tabs. You can add them here. You can choose what goes on them. You can create custom cards to go on them. It's very exciting. Over here on the right, you can drag and drop the order of these cards. You can add new cards. You can edit the cards. And additionally, the thing that is new and very exciting is all of these, whether it's a card or a tab, have these conditional options over here. And what you can do is you can just choose a property, whatever property you want. You can choose if it's a particular value or above a particular value or is known or is unknown. And then you decide whether that shows or hides this particular piece of data. So if you want to show different information when you're looking at a contact record and that contact is a customer versus when they're a sales prospect, you can do that. If you want to show different information based on whatever, first closed order ID, you can do that too. Whatever you think is relevant to make sure the right information is in front of the right users at the right time, you can do that, and you should. So that is kind of the data architecture stuff in the CRM that I think admins should know about. Let me now go to marketing. Marketing Hub has gotten a few really cool new features. Marketing Studio is my favorite, so I'm going to do that one first. Campaigns are still called campaigns. I don't want you to get confused on that part. They are now housed in a thing called Marketing Studio, which is so much fun to use. I'm not even a marketer. I really enjoy this. So if we create a campaign, if you've ever created a campaign in HubSpot, it used to just be like you open a sidebar, you give it a name and a date, and good luck to you. You get to figure out what to do. Now you create a campaign, and you get this experience here. Karen showed the you can prompt it and it'll create something for you. But you're admins. You like to do things yourselves. You like to get your hands in the mud and build stuff, and I love you for that. So let's do it that way. So you'll start out with this brief. You can give it a goal. You can give it an audience. You can say these kinds of things. But what's more fun is we just have this open space here that is a canvas, and we can just drag assets onto here, right? So let's say we want to scroll down. We want to start with a social media thing, right? We're going to have a Facebook post, and we're going to have a LinkedIn post, right? And we can build these here. And all of these, we can talk to people. We can collaborate, app mention. We can create tasks, and these tasks are now architected the same way as sales tasks, so you can put them into queues and things and work on them. That's very exciting. As Karen mentioned, this is the real-time collaboration. If someone else was logged into the same account looking at this same campaign, I could see their mouse floating around, and we could work on it together. But we can add content here. Let's scroll down. Let's say these posts, right? We want them to lead to a form. So I'm going to drag a form on here, and then we can have arrows representing that we want these things coming together. We want to add a form here, right? We can generate a new one. We could create a new one and just be dropped right into that form builder. We could use an existing form and just select the one we want, right? And we can just keep going down. Maybe we don't exactly know yet what we want to happen after this form. We're still kind of figuring that out. Well, we can grab an empty card and say we know something's going to happen, right? This form is going to lead to this empty card. And we can say what comes next, right? We can brainstorm, we can think of it. And once we figure it out, we can convert this into some other kind of asset. So maybe we decide actually a sales call should go here, and we'll just put the sales call there, right? And maybe you need some other kind of open-ended sort of brainstorming. You want to just put a sticky note? You can just put a sticky note. And you want to have different colors of sticky notes? You can have different colors of sticky notes. This is a new way to build a campaign inside of HubSpot, and it's way better. And this is just screen 1 of 4. So love this collaborative, real-time brainstorming thing. I think marketers who are very creative people are going to like this a lot better. But look, that's not the only thing in Marketing Studio. What if you want to look at it as a calendar? You can look at publish dates or due dates, right? What if you want to look at it in a board view, right? Oh dear, everything's just in draft form. We better get some of this stuff scheduled. We better get some of it published. And then, of course, if you like a table view, we have that too for whatever you use that for. So that's Marketing Studio. I feel like it's a tremendous upgrade compared to what we have had before. The other thing Karen talked about a lot is AI and email, and there's actually a lot of different stuff going on here. Let me just show you a couple things real quick. Oh, I'm getting onboarded. That's fun. I'm live on stage. HubSpot, stop bothering. Let's say I'm going to create just a regular email. Regular type's probably fine. One thing that is really cool is this new upload HTML file. So let's say you have exported an HTML file of an email from some other email provider. I was testing this with MailChimp templates. It worked great. Or maybe you have a developer who wrote you an HTML file for an email. You can come in here, you can upload it, or you can just copy paste the HTML in here. And it takes, like, seriously, just like 90 seconds, which I don't have today, so I can't show it to you. But it's really fast, and it gives you a fully drag and drop ready template inside of HubSpot, which is just fantastic. So I love that. I think it's really great. You should play around with it if you're the kind of person who has just a bunch of HTML files sitting on your computer. Let's just grab one of these right here. We're going to choose this template. And when you're in here, actually, shoot, I have not been, I didn't opt into the right beta. We'll try my backup plan here. Great, this also works. Oh, I'm not logged in. You guys don't want to see this. Oh, boy. Oh, I need a fingerprint. Anybody bring a finger? I left mine at home. All right, I did not plan for this. Okay, great. So we'll create an email in here. We'll still do regular type. We will still, we'll just grab, yeah, this one looks great. That's good. Cool. Come on. So we have a couple new options here that I think you'll be really interested in. So send to. Down here, you can choose lists or now segments. That's exciting. You can grab your lists and things. And then what you'll see down here, no, go away. I'm so zoomed in. Look, the lists I selected are all bad, which are why these are grayed out. But you can optimize open rate in different ways. If you want to send it to all contacts, do you want to improve your open rate by excluding the least engaged contacts? Do you want to prioritize open rate by send to your most engaged contacts? You can do that. And then when you are, I can't see. Maybe it's that one. If we're scheduling this, you can optimize send time for each contact. And so you're going to schedule it to go out during a particular window, anywhere from a 4-hour window to a 168-hour window, however many days that is. And for each individual contact, based on their engagement stuff, based on their location, based on I don't know what all, it will send them that email somewhere at that window when we think they are most likely to open it. So instead of just one big mass email, everybody gets their own email. So that's fun. We'll close this window now and move on to Content Hub. So Content Hub, I love Content Hub. It's kind of the belle of the ball. It's the most fun to demo. Let's talk about content remixes. This is not a new feature, but it is just a great feature if you haven't seen it before. So we'll come down to remixes. And I will show you how to create a remix. Now you're like, Kyle, you've said remix like 5 times now, and I still don't know what it is. Right, exactly. That's why we're here. So what you're going to do is you're going to seed this with a piece of content that already exists. And as you can see, it can be any type. It can be audio, it can be video, it can be written. I'll just grab a blog post, right? And what I'm doing is grabbing one of my blog posts that lives in HubSpot. But you could type something from scratch. You could upload a file. You could start from a URL. If your blog is hosted somewhere else, you can do whatever you want. And you add this content. You can add more than one piece of content to seed this. But we don't have much time, so I will just stick with the one. And what we will say is, HubSpot AI, I want you to start with this blog post, and I want you to give me, say, how about an image to go along with this blog post. And I want you to write an email to promote this. And I want a couple of different social posts that I can use to promote it, right? And then if you're smart, if you're good, if you're not in a hurry on stage in front of a huge crowd of people, you will tell it all the things you want these things to do. You'll give it some instructions, because you are smart like that. I'm not very smart. I just hit go. And it will simultaneously create all of these for me right now. And the thing that's really great about these is it's going to help me get to a first draft really quickly. And I can just, these social posts, I can look at them, I can go edit and schedule them in the social app inside of Marketing Hub. Same with email. We were just in that email editor. We can take this text here, we can take it over to the email editor, and we can produce it And this image, it'll come here in just a second. We'll have an image that we can use different places. So the idea here is to get you to that first draft faster. I would not encourage you to necessarily just go publish these right now. Look at them, make sure they're good. But no more staring at a blank page. Just take what you've got and repurpose it and expand it and promote it. Going to help you get there a lot faster. So love that. That is content remixes. The other really cool feature, like there are only 2 features in Content Hub. Content Hub is full of cool features. You can create case studies, you can build a podcast, you can do all kinds of things. The other feature I'm really excited to tell you about today is video stuff. So this actually started as a feature of content remixes. You can put a video into content remixes, you can get clips out of it. And we built like a lightweight editing experience. And people are like, I want to be able to edit all my videos inside HubSpot. So now you can. You upload videos into HubSpot, and you can come in here. You can give them a title, you can put in an SEO description. All this will feed through when you post this video to a social platform. If I had posted this video to a social platform, I would then see social performance here on this tab too. We'll automatically caption it. It's an English video, so it's automatically captioned in English. But if you work in multiple languages, then you can AI translate it into other languages and have multiple files and publish them that way. And the thing that is really fun is you can edit this video. And this is the video editor, just native inside of HubSpot. So down here at the bottom, if you're a timeline editor kind of person, I lost my mouse. Where'd it go? There we go. You can edit this as you would expect. You can add image and audio overlays. We have all kinds of options here with like captions. You can turn those on if you want to burn them in. You can choose the style. You can get really creative with the style, different fonts and things here. If you have a branding thing, right, you want to put your logo on it. Here's my logo that I use on social media. You can choose where it's going to be, how big it is, how opaque it is, right? And then the actual editing experience over here, you can just highlight stuff and decide whether you want to trim that out or make that the whole video, whatever you think. You can choose the aspect ratio, right? Oh, we're moving this over to Instagram or whatever. We want, just that bit right there. And then when you're ready, you can export it out, and it's ready to publish from inside HubSpot. So this is really cool. Content Hub is full of just like fun, glamorous features like this that I think everyone should love and enjoy. So I'm going to shock you now and say, don't buy Content Hub. And I'm not going to get fired because there's this thing called HubSpot for Marketers. And I feel like they know about it. Those guys know about it, and they're clapping because it's good. There's actually a demo station on the main floor for just HubSpot for Marketers. What it is you get literally everything in Marketing Hub and literally everything in Content Hub for much lower than the price of if you bought this and bought that. So don't pay HubSpot extra money. That's a silly thing to do. Just get the package, and you get all the things, and you pay us less money. And that's fine with me. I think that is OK. Let's talk about Sales Hub. Sales Hub in recent days has really been moving to a workspace-focused feel. So here's what I mean by that. If I come over here to Sales, and if I go to the Sales workspace, this is focused on sales reps. If you have sales people that are using HubSpot, we hope that this is the one place they can go to do everything. It used to be they had to go to deals over here, and they had to go to tasks on a different page, and they had to go over to contacts, and they had to look at their reports. Now we've tried to pull it all together into one spot. So we have kind of a summary here, some tasks I need to work on, some outreach activities, upcoming sequences things if you're using sequences to automate stuff. If you had data, if I was like a salesperson who actually did work, there would be guided actions down here. You as an admin can customize which of these appeal, and you can decide these are relevant, these are not relevant. But these are just like little reminders like, hey, salesperson, you had a meeting, but you did not indicate the outcome. Please update that. Or, hey, salesperson, this deal has been sitting stale for 60 days. Can you update that and see what's going on? That kind of thing. Then you have over on the right your schedule. I'm integrated with my HubSpot calendar, so you can see here we are. I'm halfway through my talk. Great. You can see insights if you have a quota, like how are you performing against that. You can see your feed, are people opening and clicking your emails, that sort of thing. The prospects tab is for leads, which is this little object that you can associate to a contact or a company or to both. And then you can work it. So like if I'm reaching out to this person, I can kind of see where I am in that. I can see a little information about them. I can make calls and send emails from here. And this status here, this pipeline that these leads work through, mostly is updated automatically. As soon as I send an email or make a phone call, it's automatically going to move to attempting. As soon as I get a response or I book a meeting or my call is connected, it's going to move to connected. The only thing I ever manually have to do is decide whether this person is qualified or disqualified. If I say they're qualified, I'll be prompted to create a deal and put them into our real sales process there. And if they're disqualified, I'll be asked why, so we can report on that and so we can make decisions about whether we try them again later. And then we can access deals here, we can access tasks here. We recently added the ability to embed a dashboard, so if there's a particular dashboard you want your sales reps to see, you can do that. So that is the sales workspace, which has been around for a while but slowly evolving. What we've introduced more recently is a second one called sales performance, which is a similar experience but for sales manager, coach, leader types. So here I can see how my team is performing. I can see some high-level metrics up top. I can see who's on track and who is off track. I can see potential risks and wins and trends. I can manage my team from here, dig into how they're doing with their various sales and things. And then if I want to embed a dashboard, I can do that here. So there's now a workspace for manager types, and there's a workspace for reps also. So that's Sales Hub. Commerce Hub, I don't have time to talk about today. Today is called HubSpot Essentials, which are, this was like announced 45 minutes ago, and I assume none of you have bought it yet and don't have access to it. So I'm not going to demo it today. Tomorrow's session, I will go into depth into the CPQ. The thing I think is essential for you to take away from this session is this little, I added this thing down at the bottom. There are seats now in Commerce Hub, and if you're generating and sending quotes, if you're a sales rep, you do need a seat. But if you are an admin manager type and you are doing approvals and you just want to review quotes, you don't need a seat for that. And so I think as you decide whether or not you want this CPQ thing that HubSpot just announced, that's an important thing to keep in mind. That's all for Commerce Hub today. Service, let's talk about workspaces and SLA. So Service Hub, similar to Sales Hub, has been leaning heavily into workspaces, and that's the main thing I want to show you. But first, I want to talk about SLAs a little bit. So an SLA is a service level agreement. It's like a promise a company makes to its customers about how quickly we will respond to inquiries, right, tickets or whatever. And so if I come to my help desk settings, which are legion, come to the bottom and find the SLAs. This is where you will set this up. And there are 3 main ways to do it, but the basic concepts are the same. So if you just have one SLA, everybody gets this same SLA, this is how we operate as a company, you can apply to all tickets. And the 4 main things, well, there are 3 main things and a 4th extra thing. Time to first reply, time to next reply, time to close, and then when do you want to flag this as due soon? And you can set this in minutes, you can set it in days, you can set it however you want. So you set those requirements. And then you decide, is the clock constantly ticking, right? When we say 2 hours, is that 24/7, or is it just during our business hours? If it's just during business hours or other hours, certain hours, however you want to define it, you can set that up here. And then we recently added the ability to have them paused when they enter a particular ticket stage. So if there is a known part of your process where we're going to pause the SLA, you can do that, right? Maybe if we're waiting on an answer from the customer now, we pause it because we're waiting on them. They aren't waiting on us. So that's the basics of setting up an SLA. You can also have different SLAs based on different properties. So maybe by priority, right? Maybe you want your urgent tickets responded to lickety-split, but your low ones, we'll get to those when we get to those, right? You can set that up differently. This isn't just for priority. You can do pipeline. You can do HubSpot team. You can do source, right? And then if you want to color completely outside of the lines and build your own thing, you can come in here and create up to 20 different rules for your SLA. And the way that works is if we meet these things, then this is the SLA. If not, look at the next rule. And so the next rule is if we meet these things. And so you can get as creative as you want with this stuff. So that's SLAs, which work in the background of Help Desk. So let's look at the Help Desk. How about? So we come over here at Help Desk. Help Desk is a place where your support team is responding to inquiries. So that's a little off the edge of the screen there. This is not just tickets. This is I can't see. This is omni-channel. So you can have phone calls coming in here. You can have form submissions coming in here. You can have emails coming in here. They're all going to come into this single experience, and your support team can just work in here and respond to people. You can create views over here on the right, right, on this side of the screen. And here, this is like the kind of the default view. This is the table view. And then there's also like a board view. Oh, I can't see. the bottom one. And that is like this same experience we saw earlier on an index page. I myself worked in support in the early part of my career, and I just really love this split view, which kind of gives you everything all at once. Over here, you can have views. You can see the list of different support requests here. Here, you're seeing like all the information that you want, and then off on the other side, actually, there's an additional column that tells information about the ticket. There's actually an AI summary that's generated if like this is a really long conversation, you just need to get up to speed. What was I talking to this person about? It'll tell you that. And then all of this, you can just manage your communication here. Like, oh, this is an email, but I actually want to move over to a phone call. I can call this person. You can make internal comments here. This is what the help desk experience is like. The other workspace we have in Service Hub is the customer success workspace, which rhymes very much with the sales workspace. You have this overview page, and then you have these other tabs up here. You have a customers tab, you have a services tab, you have a revenue tab. And some of you may be thinking like, wait, Kyle, you said contacts, companies, there's not a customers, and what is revenue and services and what? Good question. So if we come over to the settings here, this is where you as an admin really need to dig in and think about how you want this set up. So by default, under the customers tab, we're going to show a list of companies. And we're going to narrow it. It's not going to be all the companies in your CRM. It's going to be just the ones that have, if I'm the person viewing the page, me listed in the default company owner property. Now, you as an admin might think, that's not how we operate. Company owner we use for the sales owner. We've created a separate custom success owner property. Well, then you can change it to that, and that is fine. Or maybe you're like, no, we don't use companies, we use contacts. Well, then you can do that. Or actually, you can use custom objects too. However you define customer in your CRM, you can set that up here. And then if you create a custom property with a date for renewal, you can have that pulled in too. Similarly, services. Yeah, we'll leave. That's fine. There is a services object you can turn on inside your CRM. If you go to that data model overview I was showing you, there's just a button, turn it on, you have it. Or you can use the tickets object, or if you have an enterprise account and you're creating custom objects, you can use a custom object. Similarly with revenue, you can choose which objects it's going to be. So we have used these terms, customers and services and revenue, because that seems to be the lingo most of our customers use. Underlyingly, what actual CRM objects are used, totally up to you as the admin. And I encourage you to make it work the way it'll work best for your team. Now, Data Hub. Let's talk about data quality. This is subtle. I crossed out the Pro here. I don't know if you can see that in the back row. Pro is crossed out because you no longer need Data Hub Pro to have data quality. It is available to all of you with one slight difference. OK, yeah, we can apply it. It's exciting. You don't need to be nervous about this difference. So if we come over to data management and we go to data quality, this is what the data quality overview tab looks like. If you have Data Hub, you have lots of additional tabs. But this is basically what it looks like. You can see if you have missing data or duplicate issues, you can dig into your property insights. There's multiple things. If you click that, you can dig in. This is all when you're in Data Hub real-time info. If you do not have Data Hub, you're going to see a little button up here that says Scan My Data. And you click the button, and it'll run, and it'll think for a little while. You can come up to the bell. It'll give you a notification when it's done. And then you'll come in and see all this information for your data at that particular point in time. If you are a starter customer, you'll be able to push that button once every 2 weeks. If you're professional or enterprise, you'll be able to push it once a day. If you have Data Hub, it'll just be up to date all the time scanning. So that is the difference. But these are still really powerful. And I think you as an admin, if you're a professional or enterprise, just get used to clicking that button once a day and see what you find out. It's going to be pretty good. Deduplication. Did I opt into this beta? Let's find out. No. That's disappointing. So there, inside Data Hub, there's this Manage Duplicates page. And this is what it has always looked like. Contacts are sort of brought up. Companies are kind of brought up based on like their email address or their domain. A beta that is rolling out right now that I meant to opt into and forgot, but you can all opt into right now if you have Data Hub, is you can create custom rules. So you can say, if a contact, for instance, if two contacts share these property values, this specific property, this specific property, this specific property, they are probably a duplicate. And you'll get another tab over here on the side and for your rule. And so you can create multiple different rules, each with multiple different properties. And so you can customize how HubSpot flags duplicates rather than just relying on our default logic, which I know for many of you has been woefully insufficient. Now let's talk about some pro features. Workflow scoring and reporting. Workflows is the automation engine inside of HubSpot. You set up some triggers, and then you set up some actions. It could be one action. It could be a bunch of actions. It can be branching and different logic kinds of trains of actions. The thing I want to convey to you today that I think matters a lot to admins, but often gets overlooked, is that you can set up required properties for your workflows, and you can set up action sets for your workflows. I'll explain what both of these things are. So at various points today, I have talked about properties, and I have said offhandedly, you can create properties, and creating properties is pretty easy inside of HubSpot. But it's not just for CRM records like a contact or a company. Many of our assets are also starting to have properties that you can customize, and workflows is one of these. And so if we go to this, this is the workflows page. If we click this edit properties button, we have kind of two main options here. One is we can manage the workflow properties, which will take us just to the property settings page over here. And here, this isn't just your workflow properties. There are lots of different things you can create properties for, but we happen to be looking at my workflow properties here. If you want to create a custom property, this is what the experience looks like. And if you want to imagine, like, I'm going to create a property that someone has to fill in every time they create a workflow before they can start creating it, you might reasonably have a property like, did you ask Kyle if you could make this workflow? And it come to field type. There are lots of different field types, right? You can do text, you can do numbers, you can do all kinds of things. Inside of HubSpot, we call Booleans single checkbox. It's either checked for yes or checked for no, right? And that's a fine property we've created. And so that's step one. And now if we go to objects, which is expanded here, and we find workflows, they're not alphabetical. I don't know why. Nobody asked me. Then you can customize the create workflow form, right? And here we could add, when we're creating a workflow, we want this, and we are going to make it required. You cannot create a workflow without filling this in. This is sort of a silly example, but if you have a certain structure or way you want to organize your workflows, if there's a certain process you want people to go through before they start creating a workflow, this is a good way to do it. There are, of course, permissions. You can just stop certain people from being able to create workflows, and you should do that too. But if you have a team of people who create workflows, you might want to make sure they're naming it the right way. You might want to make sure they're saying, select what team this is supporting, whatever the case may be, and then you can save and make that happen. So now we'll go over to workflows, and I'll show you real quick how to create a workflow. And actually, I'm going to fall into my own trap, aren't I? I'm going to have to tell it that, no, I didn't. OK. So when you create a workflow, you do some enrollment criteria. I'm going to skip that step. And then you can also, oh, there it is. They put it here. That's weird. OK, yeah, I'm Kyle. That's fine. So now I'm building my workflow, and you can come in and add actions. And there are so many actions. They're great. They do a lot of different things. But if you find yourself building a certain collection of actions over and over and over from one workflow to the next, you really should be relying on action sets. And I have some action sets I've created here. And one is this weighted rotation, right? So we have a rotation action that just evenly divvies up records to owners. But maybe you have some bespoke process that takes other things into account, that takes a lot of different actions, and you want to use that. Well, all you have to do is build it once, and then you can add it. And look, I've done a custom code thing, which is a data hub feature. I've updated some records. I have some branching logic based on percentages, and I can just drop this in, right? And that's going to save me a ton of time. I don't want to build this from scratch over and over, because you get it. OK, I don't have to explain it. You got it. Great. Building action sets is actually really easy. So if you just come in here and come down to the action sets, there's this Create Action Set button. And you have two options. Maybe I just built this weighted rotation from scratch in this workflow, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm going to need this in another workflow later, and that's going to be awful. You can just copy all of the actions from the current workflow and save them as an action set. And if only some of them are relevant, you can go in and remove the ones that are irrelevant and just save the ones you want. Or you can start from scratch, and you'll just get, here, I'll show you. Look at this cleverly named action set. You'll get, it's the exact same canvas. There's just no enrollment triggers, right? So you can come in, add your actions, save this thing, and then now I've got to live forever with that action set. OK, so that is required properties and action sets. These are the sorts of things that I think admins care about. Great. Thank you. Let's talk about scoring. I glossed over it, but the last tab of settings inside the customer success workspace, when you were like setting up customers and services and all those things, was health scores. There are also lead scores in Marketing Hub and deal scores in Sales Hub. And the experience for building all of these is essentially the same. So I'm going to show you lead scoring in Marketing Hub because I think that has the most fun things to do. Regardless of what kind of score you're building inside of HubSpot, it'll be the same. So we're going to go to Marketing, and we're going to go to Lead Scoring down here. And I will create a score. Now, you can create scores for lead scores for contacts and companies. You can also create deal scores. Under contacts and companies, you can create a fit score, which is just basically like, does this person or does this company fit the template of the kind of person we know we do business with? And that will be fairly static. Engagement scores is more like, what has this person done recently to indicate that they want to do business with us? And that can go up and down. Then you can create a combined score that has elements of both. I'm going to do an engagement score because it can go up and down. It has more dynamic tools in it, so I want to show you the full experience of everything you can do inside of score building experience. So I'm going to add an event group. You build groups of things because this is an engagement score. It is a group of events. If it was a fit score, it'd be a group of like properties. We can add an event here, right? Let's say, yeah, somebody's looking at my ads. They have some ad interaction, right? Now, if someone clicked on my ad today or yesterday, that's big news. If they clicked on it like a year ago, less big news, right? And so that's kind of what we're representing here. You can add different time frames. Was it in the last or between or before or after? You can also do frequency, right? If they clicked my ad once, that's cute. That might have been an accident. If they clicked it 7 times, that's exciting. I should reach out to them. And every time you add one of these, you can say, are we going to add or subtract a certain number of points? And you can add multiple events to this group. And you can have it roll up to a particular total, right? You can set a max. This group, okay, we're only going to give 100 points for this, or whatever the case may be. You can also have a decay score. After a certain amount of time goes by, should we reduce this by a certain percentage, right? So you can get very niche with all these different things. And then you can add an additional group. And it can roll up to its own total, and it can have its own events here. And all of this rolls up to some total, which can be 100 points or clear up to 10,000 points if you want to go there. And something that is new and I think really exciting, these totals here, the group limits, do not have to add up to this. And I think this has really powerful implications. If like this group, you got to click so many ads and you got to attend so many webinars and things. But if you filled out our I want to talk to sales right now and give you money form, that is the same, right? And so you can max it out that way. So that is building a score. You can output a property. You can color code it with different thresholds. It's very exciting. Even though I'm going quickly, I am somehow behind. So we gotta pick this up. Reporting. I am not the guy to teach you about reporting. I know what buttons to click in HubSpot, but I am an idiot when it comes to knowing what different data sources to use and how to visualize them and stuff. So find a different session about that at Inbound today. But if you're like me, there are, and you just need a report that tells you a particular thing. We have so many pre-built reports. There are dozens of these here for marketing, for sales, for all kinds of things. And you can expand them, and you can click on them, and they are just ready to go. And you don't have to build these. They are built for you. And if you're like me and you're like, I don't know what this report means, there's a little About tab that will tell you what this report means and what it's for. And so you can get smarter at reporting as you go. If you want to create a fully custom report, you can do that. I recommend the Custom Report Builder. You can pull in different objects and things and decide how you're going to report on them. Some really exciting new updates. You can create up to 5 formula fields in here. There's this full screen formula builder. So it doesn't have to be properties and stuff. It's really great. We only have 2 minutes left. What am I doing up here? Enterprise people, I don't mean to give you short shrift. You can do everything you have already seen, and I really think that's the core stuff. But you have some cool, neato, nifty things that other people don't have. Account cleanup is such a small and nerdy thing, I can't believe I'm going to spend my last 90 seconds on it. But you're my people, and you'll understand. So if you have an enterprise account, you can come to your, oh my goodness, just let me out of the report builder. You can come to the settings page, and there's this new account cleanup thing. This is a beta you need to opt yourself into. And there's some automated account cleanup things, and there are some manual things. And so I am bold. I turned on the automations. This one, if a marketing email has been sitting in draft for 6 months and nobody's touched it, we're going to archive it. That's pretty tame. That makes sense. Clean up that gunk. This one's a little bolder. If you have like a list that has been sitting for 6 months and has never been used in anything, never been used to send an email, never been used to build a workflow, we're going to delete that. You can decide whether or not you want to turn it on. I did because my demo portal's full of garbage. Over here, we have manual things for you to do, stuff that we think you should check out that may be worth your time. 30 seconds, my goodness. So in Enterprise, you can build custom objects. You can build sandboxes. We are slowly starting to have push to prod, so that's getting better. You can store sensitive data. By all means, if you want to store sensitive data in HubSpot, you got to be Enterprise, and you got to opt into this, and you got to agree to the terms so you can be compliant with the law and not go to jail. I want that for you. Please rate this session. Go into the Inbound app. Basically, my understanding is number of stars determines whether or not I get to come back next year. And the comments is where you can tell me all the things I did wrong and how I need to slow down. You couldn't understand a word I said. Also, I run a weekly group for admins like you. Please scan this QR code and join us. Every Tuesday, we're going to be diving deep into HubSpot things. And starting next week, we're going to be into all the new HubSpot Inbound releases. So thank you for being here. Enjoy Inbound.